Welcome to Chandwell. My name's Michael and I'm making a rundown modernist market precinct for behind my N-gauge layouts viaduct. Let's dive straight into this short episode where I will show you the steps I went through to add this dilapidated 1960s geometric frontage. With the clock tower looming, the back of Shipley Market has this lovely facade made from interlinked circles. Although the Shipley Market signage is now missing, the stains of decades of weathering are still present. Looking along these concrete arches, I just knew that this had to be part of Chandwell's market. I used the free drawing application Inkscape to do all of my drawing. I started by getting the shape right. Not bothering with scale just yet, I drew a circle with a line thickness, something that looked about right. The circles in Shipley are quartered, so I drew a couple of lines and used them to cut the circle into pieces. I then used some rectangles with the same width as the circle's line to make an arrangement of 4. After combining this into one single shape, I tested that they tiled properly, and then I overlaid rectangles to help me find the edges of a tile which would repeat into a large surface of circles. Something like this. And eventually this. I drew a rectangle to the correct size for my frontage and coloured it a pleasant blue. Onto this I dropped some dripping and rusting textures. By using the blend mode luminosity, the textures make the blue darker rather than rust coloured. I added some extra drips along where the lettering was to be positioned. Finally, I scaled the circles to a best approximation of the size of the Shipley ones and then used this to clip the weathered blue rectangle. I was left with weathered circles, which when dropped onto a dark blue background gave me just the look I was looking for. More deeply coloured than Shipley, I'm really happy with this result. I covered a bit of 1mm card with glue stick. To avoid bubbles, it's best to cover the whole surface. Bending down and checking the reflection of the light is the best way to be sure that it's all covered. I used a piece of Weetabix box for the 1mm wide edging. The edge was glued onto the box with glue stick. Once the glue was dry, I cut out the inside of the edging with a sharp scalpel. This gave me a rectangular hole. I painted the inner edges of the hole with watercolour paint to remove the white edge of the paper. I then surrounded the facade with a little bit of PVA and glued the rectangular hole on top. I used my crochet hook to tidy up the edges and then left the glue to dry fully. I could finally use my scalpel to cut the whole thing out. This left me with a neat embossed edge, only 1mm wide. I wanted to reproduce that wonderful forward-looking font of the 1960s for my lettering. Thank you very much indeed to Justin at Scale Model Scenery, who produced just the thing in 5mm high laser cut letters. It's just the thing for this facade. I printed a strip and wrapped it around to help me get the spacing of the letters right. After painting the letters a pale yellow, I used tiny dots of PVA to help me position them on the facade. I thought it would be fun to skip a letter. And here we are, Chandwell Ma Et. I cut the arches from a couple of layers of card and covered them with a concrete texture. I used trial and error to cut the legs to match the hill of the precinct surface. I then glued it to the bottom of the facade with just enough of a recess to match that at Shipley. I don't usually make buildings in situ like this, but I was restrained by the forced perspective side I did a couple of months ago. So I glued the roof of the facade straight onto the completed market. And then, after making some simple sides, I put the facade onto that. I've ended up with the legs of the arches sticking outwards ever so slightly, and this is really noticeable on photographs. I should have checked this video clip before the glue dried. I wasn't happy with this edge, which wasn't stuck together very well, so I used a nail file to file away the uneven surface, and then I recovered it with texture. It's not perfect, but again this forced perspective part has given me headaches, and I think that this will have to do. I may cover it with scaffolding at some point. Thanks for the suggestion, Mark. Ray knows what's next. Welcome to Ray, who joined my channel as a Chandwell business owner recently. Thank you for your membership, and I hope that you are enjoying the progress photos of the Chandwell Market Tower. Yes, the tower is coming to life. It's every bit as horrible as we thought it would be. But you know what? The more I work on it, the more I'm growing to love it. So join me next time then, when we look at the building of the tower at Chandwell and this scene starts to come to life. Here's a look at another building which was controversial at the time, Pocket's Pool Hall. So until we see the tower then, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.